It's Jaysaw
And Tony.
I'm gonna goof the day away. It's Jaysaw
And Tony.
I'm gonna goof right in your face with so much extra time to waste. That's why I play your favorite games. So come and goof with me.
And Tony. So, yeah, having fun there, Jesse?
I'm lost.
You lost changing your shirt.
Yes. You
Sure.
never gotten lost in a shirt?
No.
No?
To be fair, there's only 4 holes.
Yeah.
One where you come in and either 1 of 3 holes to exit. 2 of them are a bit harder to go through.
Well, there's only one hole I'm interested in, Tony, and it's that tight, bushy.
I like to point out we were recording already.
Oh, I know. I looked over and saw it, which is precisely why I made that gay joke. Hi, and welcome back to Two Goofballs Gaming. You're watching episode 23 of Pokemon Crystal. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sir Jaysaw. His name is...
The champ. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. I'm gonna break you in half. Funny story. So me and my brothers had these wrestling dolls when we were kids, or like little, action figures, but still doll. Anyway,
They're action figures, Mom.
all I remember is one of them is like, DDT. Here comes the diamond cutter. Like they had all these cool names for these wrestling moves. Like watching it, it just seems to be a lot of flailing and picking people up and dropping them. So it's like about as cringe as when somebody who's a fan of anime imitates an anime move in real life.
So you're talking about wrestling?
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Because
Well, have you ever seen somebody that was in anime imitate or into anime imitate an anime move? Like the Naruto run?
I forget who the wrestlers were because there was a YouTuber that I watched that talked about it for a bit before he had to stop because YouTube was basically saying, no, this is all copyrighted, go screw yourself.
What, wrestling?
Yeah.
Why?
Because apparently WWE is super protective of their stuff, and even using still images is considered copyright.
See, WWE was awesome when it was the WWF. Yeah? But I feel like it really went downhill after that.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the problems can be contributed to Vince McMahon.
Really?
He's a very horrible human being who,
I know that.
who, from what I last heard from a podcast, has left sometime in 2024. And apparently after his departure from being associated with wrestling, it actually gone uphill.
Oh, nice.
It's almost like when you have people that know what they're doing, that love and care for the sport, do shit.
Oh,
Instead of,
so that brings me to what some podcasters I watch have been talking about lately. Apparently, Vince McMahon got caught up in some weird sex stuff with some girls.
Mhm.
And, here's the thing. I'm all for, consensual stuff and whatever. And frankly, I don't think it's anybody's business, famous person or not, as long as it's consensual. So, anyway,
this person was also underage.
yeah, as long as they're not you can't consent if you're not of age, Tony. That's implied, right?
You say that, but there are some people that will still defend, it's considered legal in so-and-so's place. It's like, that doesn't matter.
And just because Greece says it's okay, doesn't mean that America does. Anyway,
But yeah, I feel like we had to emphasize that because there are stupid people out there.
So,
Oh wait, and for the record, you can't claim to have a mental issue or mental health issue like depression or whatnot to try to get your way out of it. You know who you are, you sick bastard.
so there's a comic book writer, right? And they were comparing this comic book writer, the people that I watch, to Vince McMahon, but laughing even harder about it. And I'll tell you why. So his name's Neil Gaiman, and apparently, like, there's like an interview on a podcast, and it's just starting to pick up traction now. And it was apparently a widely known secret, and all the quote-unquote feminists in comic book industry knew what he did, and still just, you know, didn't say anything about it like they would about other people, because he aligned with them politically. But Neil Gaiman apparently was the kind of guy that, like, would have, like, a 20-year-old babysit for him. Here he is, a 60-year-old man, and he'd be like, hey, you want to go take a bath out in my garden? And, like, yeah, so, well, he walked out there, he'd get in the bathtub with them naked, and stuff like that. But they never said no. They never, you know, and they signed, like, consent forms and NDAs and all that stuff. But now people are starting to say, you know,
I mean, that's still
come
pretty...
forward with problems, because there was an instance apparently where Neil Gaiman made them...
1 second.
Okay.
We have small cutscene.
Hi. Oh, wait. Hi, I'm Bill, and who are you?
This is the Bill, aka one responsible for Bill's PC.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me redo that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is like his only appearance.
Okay, never mind.
So, you don't need to do it.
Howdy ho! My name's Bill, and who are you? Player, huh? You've come at the right time. It's just in time for Christmas. I just finished my assignments on my...
Adjustments
on my time capsule. We could rewind and experience the joy and magic of Christmas all over again. And I won't sleep through it this time off my Ambien. You know that Pokemon can be traded, right? My time capsule was developed to enable trades with the past.
aka Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Oh, cool.
But you can't send anything that doesn't exist in the past.
aka Gen 1 Pokemon.
If you did, the PC in the past would have a breakdown.
And also, all time and space would collapse upon itself.
Like my wife did after I took too much Ambien and turned into a real jerk. So, you have to remove anything that wasn't around in the past.
Like held items.
But simply, sending new moves or Pokemon in a time capsule. Don't worry, I'm done with the adjustments. Tomorrow, time capsules will be running all Pokemon centers. I have to hurry on back to Goldenrod and see my folks. Howdy ho!
So I forgot about this cutscene. I just came here to heal because Champ's a little low on health.
So apparently some of his kinks included being called Master, referred to as Master. And what makes this so comical and hilarious is that here's this, because, like, I don't think it, like... Yeah, so what makes this so hilarious is that this guy was one of the people that was like, we should believe all women. And now, here he is at a point where people are accusing him of all these things. He's like, well, were all consensual. Like, this was all consensual. They slept with me multiple times, each and every one of them, willingly.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. When you have someone that has as much money as, say, a millionaire or billionaire, depending on your choice, if they throw enough money at you, are you gonna say no to sleeping with them?
Well, what I am gonna say is if I sell out my own beliefs for money, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, no, you need to be held accountable. Because I can tell you what, that would never be anything that I would do for money.
With that said, though, anyone under the legal age of consent...
Well, obviously...
No, let me get my point across. Not just because of the fact that they're underage, but mentally, regardless whether they consent or not, are not fully there. If you want proof, ask yourself this:
Why is
what
that
will your teenage self do?
All these women were in their 20s.
No, I'm talking about for like the underage stuff, but more questionable.
Oh yeah.
That.
Well, why did you bring it back to that? We moved on. We talked about that. We discussed it already, Tony.
To be fair, we're talking about Vince McMahon still.
Oh yeah, Vince McMahon was part of the conversation. I forgot.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Him and Diddy and Epstein must have been all chilling together. It's like that.
Back
It's
to the island.
it's
I
a
want to go back.
it's a remake of that 70s show with Epstein, Diddy, Ellen DeGeneres, and fucking Vince McMahon hanging out. Anyway, so yeah, here's this guy that's going, you should believe all women. And then women are like, yeah, it was like super like uncomfortable and no, and like
Well, yeah, I
women
mean,
who's willingly slept with him multiple times.
I mean, look, if they're getting like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Well, no, what
Yeah,
I'm saying
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, if you throw enough money at something,
Well, no.
people usually.
What I'm trying to get across is the obvious thing. There's no such thing as a male feminist. Okay? Sorry, there's not.
Hold
There's
up.
people who have respect and people who don't have respect for other people.
Hold up. Are you telling me
And
that Eggman isn't a feminist?
Eggman is not a feminist, no.
He is a self-proclaimed feminist. That's actually true. Look it up.
Anyway,
So you're telling me Eggman isn't
it's
real?
usually just a ploy to A, cover up problems and things that they've done in the past. You know, because those who preach the loudest have the most to hide. I like that quote. Don't know where I heard it, but I like that quote. But two, B, it's all a ploy to trying to get into a girl's pants. I've never once in my life told a girl I'm a feminist. I'm like, oh, I respect women. I think, you know, girls can do
that-
whatever they want.
Hold on. Are you telling me that actually works? Does telling someone you're a feminist and they'll be willing to just drop their panties and allow you to screw them?
Some men think that. Some men think that they need to sit there and go, I'm a feminist to get women to sleep with them. Yes.
Okay, men, if you're listening to this, go outside and touch some damn grass.
You know, those are usually the kinds of guys that are like white knighting, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, I'm a male feminist, but when they hold the door open for a girl, they're like, the girl walks by and doesn't say anything because they don't even realize somebody's holding the door for them.
Bitch.
And the guy looks at them and goes, you're welcome. That's how I feel. I've never heard a guy say they're a feminist and been like, you're like anything other than saying in my own head, you're a really pretentious fucking person, dude. Like, you're a fucking dick.
Look,
because the way that I believe in it, dude, is like, there's no such thing as all these, like, you know, I believe in ists and ists and ists. It's like, do you have respect or do you not? You know?
Well,
Do you like people? Do you enjoy people?
I mean, look,
yeah.
it all boils down to one simple golden rule. Treat others how you would like to be treated.
Fucking exactly. Preach it, brother.
Say it again, brother. Treat others like how you would like to be treated.
yeah, brother. Treat them the way you want to be treated.
No, but like, how many times have you seen me talking to the servers at work, and for the most part, they all love me. Not like as a friend.
Yeah, as a friend.
I should stress, because I don't think any of them actually have any sort of feelings like that towards me.
Yeah, no, but like, it's like,
Oh, actually, I lied. There was one, but this is back at Friendlies, but we don't talk about those days.
we don't talk about, there was the dark times. No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, it's the same kind of thing. It's a scenario where it's like, when you go to work, dude, it's like, there's gonna be assholes, and there's gonna be cool people. And that's just it, you know? That's the case across the board. And anybody sitting there claiming and proclaiming about how they're such a great person is usually a really fucking awful person. Like, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm an asshole.
God damn it, Joey!
Oh, yeah. Yo, Yug, it's Joey. You got a minute? Hey, anyways, I was getting my ass kicked the other day, and I was wondering if you could come in and maybe, I don't know, win so that I could save my sister or something. You know, because God forbid I actually went and got a real job and paid for her eye surgery. Anyway, gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye, Yug.
I mean, to be fair, he's in high schooler.
I got a job in high school.
This is also 90s.
You could get jobs younger in the 90s.
Yeah, doing newspapers, which is usually more reserved for like the 10-year-olds for some reason. Not to mention Japanese.
No, you could go scoop ice cream and stuff at 16. Frankie's.
No, here's the thing. Japanese culture, you can't work as a high schooler for some reason. Or at least
What's the fucking Persona 5 all about?
breaking the law, breaking the law. Okay, look,
You think you got to clue how bad you're at work and that's against the law? Oh.
no, but like there's like a stigma with that because like Even in Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, there was an episode where Teo was working as a waitress and is like, oh crap, my friends are here. I can't let anyone know about this or I'll get in trouble by the
Really?
school. Yeah, no, it's like, again, I don't know if it loosened up by then, but that was a problem back in the day.
That's awful, dude. Like,
Different
it's very
cultures.
important that people like learn,
Well,
like go to work young, because obviously they're gonna not really do the best at that job, but it's gonna teach them a lot of like interpersonal communication, which they're gonna need when they're older, and getting fired would be a real fucking problem.
well, yeah, because like high school is basically training you to be for the workforce. Be like, hey, you gotta maintain a schedule because you gotta do it 9 to 5 and all this other nonsense.
Exactly. So when I was
Spoiler alert, I don't have a 9 to 5.
Tony can attest to this, but when I was really young, I was a major fucking dick when I was working. You know, it's important that you have that experience and get as much of it as possible as you can while you're young. Granted, I was always only ever on like 6 hours of sleep because I worked 2 jobs and then I'd go home and play video games and pass out on a love seat. But that was
Now
not
he
the
doesn't have
best
love
of
seat anymore
times.
because he already has his love.
Oh yeah, that's my wife. Oh,
Who
she's
is
not even
currently
in here. Tony, she's not here. Quick, drop your pants. But you know, so like Tony can attest to it too. Though I've gotten a little bit better at work. Like I still do grumbling and get angry, but I don't. Yeah, that's me.
If anything, I got the more pissed off, but that's more because
Yeah, it's so funny. I've never. So Tony used to be so fucking nice. That when we
Boy, are
worked
you
at-
planning on not?
I mean, like so mild tempered. Like you're nice all the time, but you're usually very mild tempered.
The problem is that I kept bottling all this shit in.
So we worked at a restaurant together, and he was working on a pancake station, and this became part of the deep lore. Okay.
We
Tony
mentioned this
never
before.
said a thing to anybody, and you know, oh, we did.
I think we mentioned about that we worked together. That's how we met.
Yes, that's how we met. And-
Also, before we continue, hey, this is Bill.
Take an Eevee. Oh man, cool.
It came over when I was adjusting the time capsule. Someone has to take care of it, but I don't like being outside.
Oh my God, they put me in the video game, Tony.
Can I count you to play with it, Claire? This is you. I knew you'd come through.
Oh wait, no.
Oh, wow. I knew you'd help me out, Kyle.
Oh wait, you can't carry more Pokemon.
I knew you'd help me out, Kyle. You know, I'm really sorry about
I
what I
almost
said the
forgot
other
about
day. I
this.
was really fucked up on the Ambien. You know, Ambien makes me say crazy things. You know, it's one of the side effects. It's true. Check the bottle.
That's just a recap of what he said. But yeah, no. So
I'm gonna put it into PC real quick.
I was the
Joel.
kind of I cooked with Tony, and I was the kind of cook like whenever anybody would fuck up, because like you know, which is understandable for some of the time. Like you get in the front of the house, the server would fuck up a ticket and they come back here and they just tell me 1,000,001 fucking things. So when I have 7 items on my screen and 3 of them have changes to them that I now need to remember, that makes my job really fucking difficult for no reason. So I would blow up on people about fuck-ups, and I'd be like, why? What happened? How did you mess this up? Or they come back and say, I need another set of Over Easy. How did you... Like, what went
we worked
wrong?
at IHOP for record, if
Yeah.
we haven't mentioned it already.
But what went wrong from kitchen to table that you now need another set of Over Easy eggs when I just finished making them and put them in the window as you were grabbing your check? What the fuck happened?
Alright, so, not to interrupt, but what are we gonna name this Eevee? As also a female.
Can we name it Tesla? Because it's an EV. Electric vehicle. Yeah, baby.
For the record, I do not like Elon Musk or anything that he is associated with.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the fact that he made a compelling argument that it is basically an EV, it makes perfect sense now. And I hate it so much.
Dude, I love Elon Musk. He's literally just such a meme.
He
I
is a
love it.
dumbass.
I love it, dude. He's such a fucking meme, dude. Like, thank you for my computer, Elon Musk. I'm so glad that you made Doge what it is.
Alright, this Eevee's level 20. He is our second highest teammate. If you want him to be on our team.
Wow. Do you want an EV? What are we gonna make it? What is it gonna turn into?
Well, you have one of 5 options.
Okay.
3 evolved stones. So Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. Or we can go for the other two options.
Which are?
Espeon and Umbreon.
What's Umbreon? Dark nighttime?
Yeah, they are specifically day and night, psychic and dark, respectively.
So Espeon is psychic and Umbreon is dark.
Yes.
Does our Zubat learn more dark moves?
I think he learns Crunch.
Okay.
But he's not primarily our dark type.
Okay. I guess we can make it dark.
We can go for Umbreon.
Yeah, then we can name it Tavanta Black because it's super dark.
We will have to go back to the name rater for that at that point.
Oh, I know.
But in all honesty, if you had said Espeon, I probably would have got rid of Kadabra off our team.
Well, I mean, yeah, I figured
that would
they
just be
have
redundant.
Kadabra because
Yeah.
he's a really good psychic Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like,
What were we talking about?
What are we talking about? That's a reference to Chicken Little. Very fantastic movie. It's very adorable. Has
No,
a
it's
really
not.
great message. What?
That movie just does not sit well with me.
I love Chicken Little, dude.
It just does not sit with me.
Well, that's two things we disagree on. And see, we're still friends. Isn't it great to...
Exactly. We can have opinions and still hate each other's guts.
Oh, yeah, so the story. So Tony was so mild-mannered, he never yelled at anybody. Me, I was so strung out because I not only worked 2 jobs...
It's so cute. Sorry.
Yeah, wow, they did a much better job depicting that in this game, too. That's
I mean-
fucking adorable. It looks exactly like what you would expect it to look like from TV. So I would snap because I was strung out all the time. Tony, never snapped. Anyway, we had a general manager. His name was Jeff. And I love Jeff. Jeff was a character, okay? Jeff was like me. Very quick to explode and blow up on people. Jeff screaming at people, though usually when he screamed at me, because he didn't yell at me very often, it was 100% with good reason. Or he'd apologize about it later, which also, you know what, dude? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a perfect person. If somebody snaps at me and they can say they're sorry, and they say it themselves of their own volition later on, or, I go up to them and talk to them and they calm down and then they say sorry afterwards, A-okay by me, man. I'm not a huge fan of holding grudges.
I'm gonna deposit Tesla for now.
No problem, she's level 20, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
continue, sorry.
But, I'm a huge believer of, nobody's fucking perfect, and you gotta try your best to forgive people.
Sorry, that name.
Tank Pseudo.
Continue.
So, I like Jeff a lot. Tony did not like him so much, but that's also because Tony is very respectful all the time.
I never hated him.
No, but you didn't have any super love for him. You liked him, but you didn't go make efforts to go hang out and talk with him a lot. Right?
To be fair, I think I was also trying to avoid falling into the same trappings that was happening with me with friendlies.
Oh yeah, because they
So-
were trying to steer you by the nose for management. Tony had
Which,
just come
spoiler
from...
alert, they ended up doing that with me anyways in IHOP, which really soured me and got to the point where I started looking work elsewhere.
Yep. Yeah, you'll find a lot of that in the restaurant business. It's really fucking dumb. The most dedicated people are often the most used and manipulated. It's really fucked up.
Which is why I've gotten more pissed off.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still relatively calm, all things considered, but just after a while, when you get poked too many times...
Yeah, it's don't fuck around with me, man. Come on. But anyway, so Jeff one day, and like Tony said, Tony didn't have any hatred towards Jeff, but Tony never blew up at anybody. It's the funniest thing. Jeff, once he started going, dude, you could not calm him down. Be like, Jeff, he'd be like, stop arguing with me. Do what I asked you. Stop arguing with me. He just wouldn't let you get a fucking word, and he'd cut you off. He'd cut you off. He was just really just fucking. When he was mad, it was time to shut up and just do, right? You couldn't stop him from yelling. Well, one day we're busy, and a server drops a sourdough toast on the floor that Tony had just made. Jeff calls to the back of the line, Tony, I need a sourdough toast now! Tony drops the sourdough toast into the toaster. Mind you, this was a conveyor belt.
Which takes about, a minute at most. It wasn't even that long.
Yeah. You guys are probably going to rehear this story 3 or 4 or 5 times.
This is the second time, definitely.
Yeah, I think this is the second time. But, I mean, you never know who jumps in on what kind of game.
I mean, to be fair, though, they're also jumping in the middle of a Pokemon playthrough. You know what? More credit to you, but you should probably watch part 1 for the...
Well, no.
Yep,
What I'm
see
saying,
it
I don't know
again.
if it was twice in the Pokemon playthrough.
Well, no, not Pokemon, but like I'm just
I
saying.
think I might have told it during the Harry Potter story.
Probably.
So
I mean-
anyway, Tony's doing the toast, and it's on a conveyor belt. So like, it literally has to wait behind the other toasts that are in front of it, because once it's in there, obviously Tony's not reaching his hand in a 400-degree toaster and burning his fingers to pull out toast from in front of it.
Yeah, and it was also kind of like a bit higher on the shelf, so like
You really couldn't, unless you were 6.5 feet tall. But anyway, Jeff starts sliding through the window on his stomach, like literally with the hot window, the heat lamp above him. Those things get fucking hot. They're like 180 degrees in that thing. And he's
ideally
like,
to keep the food warm so it doesn't go bad.
yes. And he's like, really, Tony? 5 minutes? 5 minutes on a sourdough toast? And I've never seen Tony so angry in all my life. He turns around and he goes,
I was not angry, but I love how I'm always more violent every time the story gets retold.
Tony turns around and just looks at him with like this defiant look in his eye and a tiny spatula that's only like 3.5 inches long. And he goes,
No bigger than a gaming mouse.
yeah. It was really small. He used it to cook pancakes. He goes,
It
Jeff,
was the most.
I can only make the toast so fast. And he slams his fist on the cutting board. And I've never once in my entire like career at IHOP had I ever seen Jeff shut up. And in that moment, Jeff just got real quiet.
I
Just
wasn't
look-
being loud.
Just looked around, and then all the cooks went, "Oh my God, Tony! You're the man, Tony!" And then Jeff just laughed, shook his head, and walked in the office in shame. Like, not in actual shame, but in mock shame, just to make the situation even more like he really went along with it. Because, like I said, he knew when he was, being a little unfair, Like I said, nobody's perfect. So, we all started telling the story. It lived on, and every time we told the story, because Tony was such a mild-tempered person,
It gets
it'd be
more
like-
and more violent.
yeah, it'd be like Tony would just grab him by the collar while he was leaning, slid through the window, and was like, started smacking, like, "You don't talk to me like that!" Right? And then it turned to him pulling him through the window and then sliding his face on the grill that was right underneath it. And then
Holy crap!
oh, geez, that's evolved.
I didn't.
That's a Beedrill evolved, right?
No, spinner rack.
Hmm.
This evolved from the spinner rack. There you go.
So then it turned into Tony going, "Really, Jeff? You want to talk to me like that?" And grabbing him and pulling him over into the kitchen and then dunking his head in the fryer, repeating, "Let's see how you like it, Jeff. Let's see how long you take to cook." So we all started telling all these jokes.
Oh
Fast
no!
forward.
I've been PSN.
Oh no, PlayStation Network. My God. What are my 2 free games this month? Oh, great. Dustfall and whatever the fuck.
It's
oh,
Power World.
2D
Oh yeah, Power World.
2D side scrollers for the win. Thanks, PlayStation.
Actually, in all fairness, I do enjoy the side-scrolling platformer.
But anyway, eventually it like fast forward to now, where like I started working with Tony again, and we were working with this guy that was a real pain in the ass. Like he talked so much shit to the servers, so much shit to the other cooks. He would complain endlessly. He just never shut up.
Yeah,
So
he remained nameless for the sake of this storytelling.
Yeah.
If you want to make up a name, go ahead. I care less.
Okay, his name was Tamarquise, or hold on, let me pull up. Let me. Hold on, I'm literally looking up Key and Peele right now.
Just say Bob.
Nope. His name was Nyquilius Dilwad. Okay, so Nyquilius Dilwad was like bitching up a storm one day, and Tony like had to get away from him. So he was like, "Oh, thank God I ran out of this thing. I'm gonna go get this from the walk-in." So he could just get away from the guy for like 2 seconds, and on his way off the line, the guy has to sit there and bitch about more stuff, and then go, "Hey Tony, can you grab me some more chicken strips?" So Tony goes, "Sure." And as soon as Tony got around the corner, he motioned with his hands in front of him like he was strangling the fuck out of the guy, and he physically shook while he did it. And I was just like, that's my boy, dude, you're growing up, because it reminded me of me when I was younger, and I was more angry. Because, like, I always felt bad for Tony because he was always so nice, and people were, like, kind of walking all over him. So, like, I'm working on trying to be a nicer guy, because I am an asshole. And Tony's working on being a little bit more...
No,
horrible for
I'm still a nice guy. Not like that. You know who you are.
Hold on, Tony. Let me get you your fedora.
Actually, all jokes aside, I probably would look nice in a fedora.
You would look nice in a fedora. That said, fedoras are so not in.
Oh no, it is a sign of like the ultimate like douchebaggery. but jokes aside, though, as much as I hated working with him,
Mhm.
and I said this before
Typhoon is still
online.
one.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll use it on the record. I wish him the best of luck. He was definitely a lot of loose screws, but you know what? I cannot wish him ill. With that said, though, because I'll be honest, this last part has just been us, me kind of leveling up with guys, because we made it to the next town.
You're talking about Osmotaz Buckshank, right? Or was it Tyroyal Smoochie Wallace?
God damn!
Ghoulius Boozler. Begonius Thicket Suede. Jammy.
You can choose whoever you like, because damn, this thing.
Wapniad Sigornith Junior Steen. King Prince Chambermaid. Rerod Smith out of West University.
Well, on that note, we're gonna call it a part.
Oh damn, dude, we were having such a good time. That flew by.
Well,
But yeah,
again, I said, like, this has mostly just been me, like, level grinding a little bit, because we've already made it to the next town, Equity City.
again, in summary, guys, there are no like all this like names for blah blah blah. There's assholes, and you know what?
And then there are assholes.
And then there are people that are like doing their best. And you know what? As long as you're doing your best, I hope none of you ever feel like you deserve any bad stuff that happens to your life. As long as you're trying your best to be the best person you can, man.
Yeah, like, if you put
Keep
in
at it.
a consistent effort to trying to, like, do better, people are not...